Hello, I'm James, and I'm an old guy in Europe. Hello, and welcome to another episode of An Old Guy in Europe. This week, continuing with Carl Munson on the Good Morning Portugal Show from September of 2022, Carl and I talked with Gilda Pereira of Migrante about her struggles following a presentation she made to her company, looking at your intentions, and leading with your heart. So once again, I invite you to please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
We need to bring Gilda on.
It's Gilda P on GMP every Monday morning.
Hola, bon dia.
Bom dia, Gilda.
How's it
Bom
going?
dia. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. We're just hanging out, having a nice little chat like we do on a Monday morning, and we're so delighted to have your company to join us as well. How did it go last Monday, Gilda?
James, I need you. I have ego problems.
You have what?
Is that how it went last Monday?
Yes,
I didn't hear what kind of problem you had.
Guess
ego
what?
problems.
Oh, ego. Okay.
But why? I mean, do you want to go into an ego management intervention right now?
Yes, I want.
Okay, let's do it.
You know, I've been
Gilda?
giving tips for 2 years now, so now I need James for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay,
or
fair
15
enough.
maybe.
We'll just make a cup of coffee. We'll make a cup of coffee and sit it out while you two chat. We promise not to listen.
Okay, so you know what happened? I really need to
No.
talk about this
Clearly.
because
for
I gave this speech as I told you I was going to give. And I was so naive because I was talking about my dream, which was about and it was about, you know, how to make people achieving their dreams to move to Portugal, and how to make people happy, and how to deliver a customized service. And you know, maybe I was too focused on my dream when I was doing this speech. And when people were listening to it, they were like, okay, we are working for her dream, not for our dream. This made them react and think like that.
Okay.
So
And you got
it
feedback
kind of,
They
yeah,
gave you
and
that kind of feedback? Okay.
yeah, some of them, of course, you know, like felt it's a good thing that we are working for that and that we are making people happy. They kind of focused on that part, but some people focused on, okay, it's great, but it's not our dream, so maybe we should follow our dream.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I think it's true. I mean, if I were going to give advice to anyone, it's follow your dreams. So yes, but I hear what you're saying is that at least some people gave you feedback that it was all about you and what about us? What about our dream? Yeah. So what was your
Yes.
intention when you came up with that speech? I'm sure it wasn't your intention to just spend the time telling them about your dream. What was your intention with your speech?
My intention was to, you know, to talk about how I started and how I wanted it to go now and in the future. But for that, I wanted to explain them how it started. So it would make sense, everything. But I think I messed up.
Well, maybe. But to me, ego is more about putting yourself first. Like ego is I'm important. So if you're nice to me, that feels really good to me. If you're not nice to me, you're attacking me and I need to defend back. So some of that goes to intention. Like, what is my purpose for speaking? Is it just so that I can be here I am, I'm on the stage, I have a chance to talk about myself? Or is my intention to share my experience in a way that might benefit other people? And I do that in therapy more than I was ever trained to, because I have had a similar experience as someone. And I said, well, this is how it was for me. Is that anything like that for you? So it's a place we can relate as well. And I think that was your intention. And I think that message
Yes,
got
that
across.
was my intention.
Yeah. So I think that got across to probably more people than the people you heard the feedback from who said, some version of, okay, well, that was all about your dream. What about us? That's their egos. What about me is an ego reaction, right? So I think it was Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States, who said, you can please all of the people some of the time and some of the people all of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time. And I think that might have been just a piece of what happened. I think if I had been attending that speech, I would have thought it was amazing and encouraging and supportive and probably even inspiring. It's like, oh, I'm working for this company that's doing those things that came from this dream. That's how I would have responded to it. But then I've spent a lot of time working on my ego too, and I still have a lot of work to go. So I wouldn't. The bottom line is I wouldn't worry about it too much. And if you're ever in regrets or confusion about it, look at your intention. And if your intention is good, you can't go wrong. If you're doing it from the heart, there's no mistakes.
Yeah, but I put myself in their shoes, and maybe if I went to a speech like that, I would think it would make me think about following my dreams. And if my dreams were not that people dreams, maybe I would feel the same.
How inspiring. What you're saying to me is you got people to think about their dreams. That's pretty amazing. Yes. I mean, what? Yeah, great. So I don't think.
Yeah, so I may lose some people on the team on the way, but I got very inspired.
And those will be people who don't share your dream, right? They have a different dream, which is fine. Okay, go get your dream, and I'll look for people who share this dream with me. And so you'll have more people who step into your business who share the same goal and the same dream as you have. So I think you're being, in this case, too hard on yourself. And you are the head of the company, for goodness sake. I mean, if it's going to be about anybody in a company, it should be about what the dream of the person who founded the company and runs the company and is making policy around the company, in my opinion. So I think you have the space to be in that space about what it is you aspire to have this company be. It's part of your job in leadership.
We are getting some input coming in from others as well, Gilda, if you'd like to hear it. Thank you, James, for that. This is very fascinating. I think it's...
Yeah, thank you. But I was a little bit disappointed.
No, we get that.
I want you to know that I did hear you, and I realize that some of my reaction may feel like, oh, don't do that. You don't be putting yourself out of space. I understand it comes because you care, and that I did hear what you said and your concern, and I understand it.
Yes, testament to you that you are bothered, and I get that it didn't go quite how you wanted it to go as well, Gilda. And I think that's an opening as well, isn't it? There is an opening, as I think some people are suggesting here. The whole team is rallying around you this morning. I think there's a slightly different angle here, because people definitely share your dream because they want to know about how to migrate to Portugal.
Absolutely,
it's a different agenda here. That's great. I mean, I've got it that is the best thing, that you run a company. You're inspired by your vision. You wouldn't have started the company 8 years ago. And to have a team of people who are similarly inspired would be amazing. To find that some of them aren't yet or might not be, although it's quite devastating in some ways because it doesn't feel like a match, it's probably better to find out now, isn't it, rather than in a few years' time when everyone's just pretending to be in line or not even thinking about that.
I agree. And I the term was used when I was going into self-employment as a hairstylist. The guy was talking about starting business or being in business, and he said, be prepared that percolation, and that's the word, which means coming up from the bottom, is important. It cleans it out and it strengthens. When you percolate your coffee, it gets stronger and stronger. And when rivers and streams are and lakes are fresh, the water that's percolating into them is replacing old stale water that needs to move out to keep everything alive and fresh and new. So that's just a normal process. And I'm sure you already know this, Gilda, but that's going to happen. People are going to say, oh, I need to go follow my dream, or, I guess my dream isn't really in alignment with this. I need to move on, or, oh, she's selfish. All she does is talk to herself. That's their own ego going to it. And I don't want to be a part of this. I'll go make my own company. It's like, okay, whatever you need to do. But that percolation is just going to make the business better and better, in my view, because you can get fresh people and more people in alignment with your vision as you share your vision. So I think that's all good, even though it can feel kind of yucky when people are saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like that. But the thing is, because, I was so happy, and I think that you saw me, I was so happy.
Yeah.
And it kind of broke my heart.
I understand that. I understand that. Yeah, we hear you.
Well, I'm reminded of a reading I made called Shambhala, and it was something about the voyage of the true warrior or something. And the author was talking about courage, and he made it clear that courage was not about being the biggest and the bravest and the strongest and going into battle. And he says, courage, true courage is going out in the world with a broken, open heart and allowing people to touch it. So that's courage. And that stuck with me forever. That's one of the quotes that may come up in Slug's quotes. It's difficult to live in a world with your heart open, because people are going to touch it and it's going to hurt. I mean, even the positive thing.
You showed up and did that this morning. Exactly what James just mentioned there. You are a warrior in that sense, Gilda, to actually share that, to openly, voluntarily. All you needed to do this morning was come on and fix a few migration questions, but you didn't. You showed up big time with your big heart.
I knew you were going to ask about how it went, and I couldn't pretend.
Well, again, that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. So we thank you for that, and I think it's a very powerful share that you've offered this morning, and I think it's the beginning of something extraordinary. I understand that the upset that's been caused, and it didn't go the way you wanted to, but from where I'm standing, it's the most wonderful thing to see that you're brave enough and courageous enough to want to operate in that way.
And that's a function of time. The other key is patience. Like, feel what you feel, like, be with it, understand this is how you feel about it, and then give it time. And over time, that perspective will probably shift. Your company will continue to improve, probably because of that speech, and you'll have a different perspective on it 6 months from now than you do in the moment. I understand the tenderness of feeling like I really put myself out there to try to inspire people, and some people didn't feel inspired. Matter of fact, some people didn't even like it. That can be painful.
Yeah.
So,
but on the other hand, some people liked, and at the end of the day, we had some drinks, and not everything was bad.
No, of course not. But I think that there is something really powerful available to you in your bravery. I think, there's that phrase in there, fortune favors the brave. And I want to admire and shine a light on your courage and bravery. Not, for that moment last Monday where it didn't go quite like you thought, but sharing it again this morning about what happened and how you feel about it, I think is extraordinarily courageous. So thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you, James. You always help me.
There you go. Here we go. You found it now. And maybe what happens if you put this up in the office, Gilda? Follow your dreams.
Oh.
How about that? Follow your dreams.
Right out the door.
Stop it, James. Too soon. Thank you for that, Deagle. James, I think your work here is done, my friend.
Thanks. I just want to leave it with one last thing that I
ahead.
talk about being in control, and I don't control anything outside of myself. Their reactions are their reactions. They belong to them. So in truth, it's not about you. It's about how they took what you said and how that interacted with them, that they had their response. And as Jim said, 7-1, if you had 3 people tell you that didn't really work for me, then there's 21 people who got something really positive from it, in my view. So, you'll hear those few, and that's all about them. They're telling you about themselves.
So, Gilda, thank you for sharing that. And James, we will see you next week, my friend. Thank you very much for being here with that intervention. Where does he send the invoice, Gilda? Okay, all right. We'll see you.
You have my email. You have my email.
Pro bono. How about that? You got a pro bono gift this morning. Cheers, James. Bye for now, my friend. See you next Monday.
Thank you, James.